All right, we are live. So, this is the 9th episode of The Outlet. Today, we have a very important guest. Never before seen on The Outlet is Lone Soul. You want to just give a brief introduction of what you do?
Hello. Bro, my name's Michael. Hello. What do I do? I'm the other guy in the outlet. Um, yeah. This is kind of weird without another person. Like I kind of like relying on the other person for like stealing facts.
Yeah, or just like a topic to dissect, and it's always fun. But I mean, you are that person in a sense too. You know what I mean, to each other. Just because we've been there that whole time doesn't mean everybody else knows kind of what's going on, or what all we've done really. And I think it is important to kind of interview each other in a sense for this type of thing, so that when people come and view the channel, they understand where we're coming from in a lot of things, and what our not expertise. I don't like that word, but our resume is. You know what I mean? Like the validity of our statements. Like who the fuck is this guy? You know what I mean? We got to figure this out. Um,
I know how to make really simple one-page resumes.
yeah. Well, you know how to like code and stuff, right? That's something you've really dedicated yourself to the past year.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm a pro at it yet, but I'm figuring it out. And I'm getting better every day.
Yeah. I mean, what else do you do? You are a co-host on a podcast, right? That has had
Yeah.
a few separate iterations. You are,
For real, huh?
yeah, and
Video first.
we'll definitely get into that on where this all started. But I think first and foremost, you're like a marketer. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's the right word, but I think that's always what you've brought to the table, and that's the same with me. I think like we put a weird label on it on some past projects we worked on of creative director, but I think that's not really what we are. I think our minds just work at how do we improve the not sales aspect of it, but the presentation of what people do. And like we've always made that our goal is quality. And I think other people noticed and they valued our opinions. And while we aren't their brands or anything and they make these final decisions, let's not lie and say that a bunch of people haven't asked your opinion on stuff, or you've designed
At
websites
least
for
ran
them.
something by.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's just like the same thing. Like I know that girls sometimes send nudes to each other before sending it out. You know what I mean? They get that approval from the squad, and you're
I
on that.
wouldn't.
You're on
I
that
don't
squad.
understand that.
You've never heard of that before?
I don't understand. No.
I guarantee it. I don't know if you've been sent many nudes, but I guarantee you a girl's eyes have seen them before you.
I am a married man.
Yeah,
I've been married
I
for.
guess it's different.
I'm about to be 5 years married, dude.
Yeah, but you had like a cell phone in high school and shit. Like,
No, I was in a relationship in high school.
oh yeah, different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Didn't
that girl.
really. We didn't really go through. I didn't really go through that phase.
Yeah, I went through it and then like cut myself out of it cold turkey because it was getting a bit out of control.
That's good.
Yeah, and then the pandemic hit and I got forced to stay out of it for much longer than anticipated.
Dude,
But
how long has it been now since
like
we've been?
in like lockdown, like not
Yeah.
lockdown, but like declared a pandemic, like March of last year. It's almost 1 year.
It's a year now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then I
Some
basically like
people are still
really stopped
going
seeing
outside.
people in like June maybe. That's when I like cut it. Like I stopped seeing everybody. I was still seeing some girls, but nah, after that. But either way, I kind of want to go through like the origin story. You know what I mean? Like how we
Let's
met,
go.
first of all. I think that was very random and happenstance. And then kind of how we developed from there into what this is, in a sense, even though it's not just a podcast regularly because of the pandemic. That is what it is. But we'll get into everything that we've done at some point on this podcast, whether it's today or another day. But we met as how did we meet? Random duos, right?
We met as roommates at ASU. We both stayed in school, in state, and we went to ASU. We were in the engineering program, so we knew we were going to be roommates beforehand. But we met at that one program. What was it, like a camp right before we started school?
Yeah, like out in the woods, right?
It's like,
It's like in
yeah.
Flag or
Yo,
something.
you know who else we met there? This guy named Jess, who, like, it turns out, like, the next time I met him, he was dating Birdie, like Stay Busy. I was like, dude,
Wait, like
what small world?
I met them too. Did I? I don't
Yeah, I think
remember.
so, dude.
Honestly,
so.
until
Like,
you
you
just
probably
brought
don't
that
remember.
up, I forgot that I had gone to that camp before school. It was like part of freshman orientation and stuff. It was 100% just to meet your roommates, I think, and like catch the vibe. Because that's obviously where we met, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
so that was like what, 1 night, 2 nights, something like that, or was
That
it
was
like a week? I don't
yeah.
remember. Honestly, I don't
Might
remember
have been like
anything.
a weekend. I don't remember much. I just remember that guy because the story was crazy. Like, I'm not gonna share it.
Why not?
But it was crazy.
Like,
I
well,
don't know. I feel like because it's
yeah, I guess you did already out who it is.
yeah. I'm not gonna share the story, but it was a wild story. So it
Yeah.
was like that stuck with me. That story. I've never met anyone else who's described
Mm.
anything like that.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is there was cat piss, cat urine. I think.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, no. Definitely
Yeah.
a road less taken for me, at least. Cat urine.
Yeah. Anyways, that's where we met. So
Yeah.
we met before school, and then we went to ASU together. You were my roommate.
Yeah. Very first day was very, very, very funny. So, like, just for context, Michael went to like Trevor Brown, for anybody who knows. Like, this is how many kids go to your school in total, or went to
I
the
don't know.
school?
We were big. A lot of people graduated at the same time.
Yeah, bro. So your like graduating class was like hundreds, right?
Yeah, hundreds for sure.
Mine was like 76. So I came from like a way different situation, and I just remember meeting Michael, and like immediately after that, like 50 of his friends that he knew that had gone there, and I was just like, "What the fuck? You're basically just keeping going to high school, man. This is so weird." At first, I thought it was super weird, but then I realized that like most of the people were cool, and Michael was cool, and it wasn't gonna be like a repeat of high school. In a sense, I feel like it might have been for some of you guys, I guess, but me on the outside not being a part of your guys' high school life and also experiencing all of like ASU and stuff, it was just it was we had different situations. Like I met all new people, and I feel like you didn't.
No.
Well, you did, but not like as many as I did.
I met you.
Yeah, and that's because you had
I
to
met
live
you
with
there.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, bro. There was a lot of good memories that freshman year. Just like sharing a room with somebody that you know for less than 1 week, you know what I mean, is crazy. Just to do that and then just like basically sign up to live with them for 9 months is a wild thing, and I don't think I would ever do that again. Like that was
I left though before, remember?
yeah, but like we both registered up to do this thing, and like, dude, we know people even on our floor that had fucking terrible situations like that, and it just never was like that for us. Like, dude, we were both super chill. Nothing crazy ever happened. We would wake up sometimes and there'd be fucking popcorn all over the floor from the night before, just fucking getting stoned and acting a fool. And like we never really beefed, I don't think. At least not
I
then.
didn't have any beefs.
No. I beefed with one guy. And then
Yeah, we're not gonna bring that up because that is some wild shit.
yeah. No, I was a crazy person. Definitely a stupid kid. But yeah, so fast forward through that year? Like basically, like what are your goals and aspirations at that time? Like what are you thinking? Because in my head, like I still haven't even fully
I was a
grasped what I'm
computer
about to
science
do.
major. I was a computer science major, and I knew I wanted to do something. I wanted to create something, and I wanted to create something. I remember thinking of a thing that had like Twitter and Facebook and Instagram in one place, and I wanted to create it. I thought it was like a decent idea. Like it wasn't really like I get it now. Like now that I'm older, now that I'm coding again.
Mhm.
But at the time, I was like, oh, it's gonna be this really nice interface where like you're able to see everything in one place, and so it's all in one timeline and shit. And
I mean, to me,
um,
that sounds fire. What is wrong with that idea? Like as a not as like a
I
user
think it's
experience,
just
but
too
like
much.
as a content creator, being able to log into one thing, see everything at once, post everything, and see everything all there at one time, I think does have benefit. But as a user, I understand why that would just be like not important. Maybe it's still a good idea.
Maybe, who knows? I mean, I didn't know anything though about like what I was doing. Like during that summer, I had to like learn Python going into it because like a friend of mine who's like an engineer dude too, he already was coding and he said Python was a good one to learn and it was easy to learn. And so yeah, I wanted to code, but I wasn't really sure. And then at the same time, I had a friend who was like my best friend who was a writer, and so we talked about making music together. But I wasn't gonna make any. Like I was just gonna help him get it in front of people. And so like I had always listened to blogs or like listened to music or found music through blogs. And so um like I spent so much time doing that, like trying to figure out like how do I find the next person to be cool and like um how do I like download it for free essentially. You know, that piff was cool.
Yeah, I remember you put me onto mixtapes for sure. Like growing up in the small town, I never listened to mixtapes at all. But once I met you, that was pretty much my main source of music for like a good 3 months. Once I discovered it, but you just had like an obsession to find the newest good thing. Like that was your thing, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked following people on Twitter that were cool. Um, which Twitter, like you only need, you know, a few thousand followers to get like to reach certain people, you know? So like I was able to find some artists before they blew up. And I'm sure a lot of people found artists that way. I mean, that's kind of what it is, right? That's the way the
Yeah,
internet's set up, at
it's
least Twitter
great.
and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
But
you
yeah, I
were
was
working
obsessed.
with the Bobby Fresh guy for a little bit. I think that was your first real introduction to not necessarily what we're doing now, but you started hustling with like a streetwear brand essentially.
Yeah. So I got a connection with him through like a high school friend. Her brother was like he worked with him, so she set up a meeting for me to meet her brother. I had no idea what I was doing. Like I just knew that I wanted to print these T-shirts, and there was gonna be an astronaut on them. I remember I drew the astronaut outside the dorm room window.
Yeah, and I had to
Remember
fucking
that?
clean it after fucking Connor
It
last
probably gets
day. I
so
was about to
stuck.
move. He's like, "Oh, by the way, you got to go do this." And I was like, "Dude, really? That wasn't even
Yeah.
me." He's like, "Yeah, well, it wasn't me either,
I was
man." Yeah, it was alright though.
damn, damn, my bad. But yeah, so I wanted to get the shirts printed with the astronaut on them, and I didn't know how to do that at all. Like I didn't know like who do I pay to get this vectorized? You know, like how do I get? Because it was a drawing, like it was a piece of shit drawing that was made, and it wasn't like my like design wasn't from me, but like it was like my story and like what I created. So I was like, it was very attached to it, and yeah. So I met with the guy from Bobby Fresh. I talked to Bobby Fresh, talked to Adam, Bomb, like that's what he goes by now. But that's Isaiah's fucking dad, by the way, Adam Bomb. So he was who was a
did not
designer
know
at the
that.
time there. Yeah. But bro, I skated from ASU all the way to like, um, what's the name of that? The shopping center, Tempe
Marketplace.
Marketplace.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I skated from ASU to Tempe Marketplace because that's where the Bobby Fresh office was at the time. And I remember getting there and asking him, like, showing him the shirt or showing him the hand drawn fucking shirt and telling him like this is what I wanted. And at the time, they were bit popping because they made a bunch of clothes that match with whatever Jordans were releasing or whatever
Okay.
shoes were releasing. So they're like, "Oh, you're gonna put Jordans on them?" Like, like he had no idea like what I was there. To be fair, I didn't know either, bro. I went by myself. I skated there. I had no idea what I was doing. But like I was like, this is an opportunity. I need to do something about it. So
Mhm.
nothing came out of that situation whatsoever.
Dang. I didn't
But
even know about
but I
you. Because I would remember you getting him clothes from him. I thought you were like, in a way, like interning or something. Like, is that what came out of that meeting, or?
well, that was the direction I think they wanted me to go. But because I had no real graphic design skills, like that's like it didn't go very far from there.
Yeah, I
Like
guess that
that
makes
was
sense.
like I had ideas, but I couldn't do anything. Like I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah. Dang.
I couldn't put forth any like real shit
Yeah, you're
in
18. You
front of
didn't know
me.
what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
And you're like
No,
juggling what computer science, right?
computer science. I
Like
was
that's
getting
what you're
paid
doing.
to do people's math homework, their calculus homework. I was
Yeah.
getting paid to do it.
Dude, there was fucking crazy smart people there. Like I always knew I was not like the smartest person ever, but I was smarter than people at my high school. And then immediately when I went to ASU, like at least in mathematics, like you immediately get humbled. There's always someone smarter, younger, better, and I'm just like, oh fuck, bro. I don't even care about any of this like calculus shit at all. I think that's when I really, like freshman year, you in a way I guess opened my eyes to more in general. And I think I had always really been interested in music. Obviously, I came with all those posters and shit, and like that was a big part of my life already. But I think the way you introduced it and the way I saw how essentially rap was different than what I was listening to, and like how that whole thing moved, I thought it was way more accessible to get into that in a sense, and the artistry combined with it, because there was a lot of people that were doing like clothing and music and making videos, and it was just like a completely different thing than what like the bands I had been listening to were doing, and it just changed my thought process on what I wanted to do, for sure. I think a large part of that is because I was introduced to you and you showed me all of this other stuff that I hadn't been paying attention to at all. And then after that, I kind of developed into my own thing, started my own like clothing line with a different partner at that time. Shout out to Squid. Sorry for ever being an asshole to you. But
It's a long sorry. It's a heavy sorry right there.
yeah. I was just an asshole to everyone, dude. It's not like I actually didn't like Squid or anything, but like I was just a shithead. You know what I mean? So I feel like it is what it is. Either way, me and him started a clothing brand, essentially mRNE, which was essentially the whole premise of it was that we would work with different artists to use their styles matched with our ideas to create different things, and then like in that way promoting them. We had 2 drops, so it was like 6 or 7 designs and artists that we worked with. But I knew nothing, just like you. I just like dove headfirst in, didn't give a shit, spent the money. I sold maybe 25 to 30% of the product I had gotten. I way overshot what I should have bought. That was like my main thing. I did way too many designs the first go, and then the second one, the same thing. I just kept releasing. To have 6 different designs in 2 drops, your first 2 drops is a little bit crazy. Knowing what I know now, there's no way I would do that, and I wouldn't buy anywhere near the amount that I bought. And then I think that was like my sophomore year, so we had already kind of separated in a sense. You ended up moving out freshman year.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Um,
Fuck
and
ASU.
yeah. I mean,
Fuck
yeah.
'em.
School's
I'm just kidding. School's good for you if you can afford it.
yeah. I think that was the main thing. I don't think school is good unless you are good at school. Number 1, and then number 2, have the money. Number 3, you're going into a very specific career that requires very specific skills to be gained, like a doctor, like a teacher, like a lawyer, like an engineer. But I don't think you need to do that to necessarily own your own business. I think you can refine things there, but I think it's in no way necessary for you to do what we wanted to do. I think you were in a different situation than me, so you immediately left, which is what I would have done too had we been in the same situation. I think we got there and both realized it wasn't what we needed to be doing.
Yeah, I went to Estrella Mountain the next semester. I decided that I was going to figure out how to graphic design. Remember? Because when I told you about meeting Bobby Fresh, that's probably what they wanted from me when I set up that meeting, was already just someone who could just shit workout so they could sell it, you know,
Right.
because they were popping.
Yeah.
They were getting the complex connections and shit. And yeah, so I went to school to be a graphic designer, but I at Estrella Mountain, so I lived with a friend, and I used to skate from his house or try and take the free bus, the shuttle to no, it wasn't free. I'm pretty sure I had to pay to Estrella Mountain, and then take a couple of classes. Had no money, had no job. I slept on the floor. It was cool, but like I was just like at that time we were just trying to figure out some shit, and like I said, that's the same food that wanted to be a rapper, and so we figure out ways to do like cool branding shit. And FSU was something we really liked, and that stood for fuck shit up. And that was from what movie is that? Step Brothers. Came here to fuck shit up. And so we just really liked it, and so like we made some stencils and we started just painting shit. I met Frame at Estrella Mountain. We had a art class together. He's the guy who like does a lot of videography for MP, who like runs Don't Forget the Money.
Yeah.
He's very talented videographer. He does everything, bro. Art, draws, all of it. But I went there for a little bit, bro. Not even the full semester. I think I did like for one of my business classes, we had to do some PowerPoint to talk about like anything, like any research subject. And I chose Johnny Cupcakes and like Finding Happiness and shit. And so like basically I just told the story, like how he ended up figuring it out and how he was able to employ his parents. Cool. You know, me and my best friend at the time were huge Johnny Cupcakes fans, so it all made sense. Yeah, so from there, I stopped going to fucking school. Like right after that project, that was like the last one. And I stopped going. Like November. Like was my last month of school altogether. And
That was basically
then,
like
yes,
the same amount the previous year, right? Because you weren't there at all the second
yeah,
semester.
pretty fucking much. Yeah, I went home for Thanksgiving break and told my parents I didn't want to go back. And I did. I went back, but it was like when I
Also,
took the second semester math class, I was like, bro, I couldn't be there anymore. Fuck that.
yeah, not worth it. But shout out to you. You did somehow finagle getting like this fat ass 52-inch TV for our dorm room, and then immediately left and then left the TV there the entire year. I got to watch
Yeah, I
the
think my
Giants
parents
beat the
bought
Patriots.
that for like $100.
by myself in my room, and then John Tangway, huge Patriots fan across the hall, was like at his house or whatever, and I just remembered. I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm on this big ass setup, just chilling, smoking, and talking shit to Tangway." So shout out to you and your parents for getting
Yeah,
and leaving that TV there during that time.
yeah, yeah. Fuck Tangway for being a MAGA supporter,
I don't even
bro.
follow
I
that
used to
dude at
have him
all.
on Snapchat, and that fool wore a MAGA hat one day, and I was like, I gotta delete this
Unfollow.
app.
Oh, it made you delete the whole app? He's like, oh, it's tainted
I
now.
deleted Snapchat. I was
Oh,
like, bro,
shit.
that's
You
ridiculous.
want to know how many MAGA fools are on Twitter?
Too many. I'm not ever deleting Twitter.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I was like
Maybe.
obsessed with Twitter, and I think it's cool when you're in it, but objectively, it's a giant waste of time. Just like any other social media.
Yeah.
It's cool to
Yeah.
get
It's
informed.
fun. It's funny though. You get some funny shit.
Oh hell yeah.
Like you can read some funny viral stuff.
Oh yeah, nah. I think Twitter is usually one of the first mainstream social medias that gets memes. Twitter's always first for everything,
Yeah.
even news. I don't know why people go there first. It's because
It's instant.
it's so minimalist. You know what I mean? Everything's just small text with either a quick video and picture.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like it's probably just like nah, I don't want to talk about it. Yes. Yes, you're right. Cuz I was like thinking like what is it? What is Twitter? Like what like goes into making it? And it's probably like the tweet, it's getting like put into like an array like based on time. But now that they have the thing where they don't just show the top, the most
Yeah,
that
that's
that
true.
tweet that was, just put up, they probably got some sort of algorithm to try and like make you stay there longer. Just a bunch of shit that you usually click on or you like
Hmm.
or by one of your friends that you fuck with or you interact with their likes to stay on longer so they can sell you ads.
Yeah, that's true. Twitter used to be super cool, man. The feed was just real time, and now it's convoluted and shit. It's curated. I don't. That's why I liked Twitter. It was so just like you would see some random shit just scrolling through, and people were ruthless on Twitter. I don't know if it's still like that, but Twitter was
I
fucking.
remember people used to be like pointing at the person down below them saying a thing
Oh
about
yeah.
them and it was like a random time and it just like
Yeah.
like when it was timed, when it was ordered by time, it was pretty cool.
Oh yeah. The screenshots after, beautiful.
Yeah.
That's fucking funny, dude.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
but let's go
Yeah.
back to the
Yeah.
story.
Okay.
So
So at this point,
we
it's
stopped
like,
going to school, you made some shirts, you
uh,
didn't sell very many shirts,
hmm
and you're back. We're
so
separate, we don't talk to each
yeah,
other,
this is like
we're living life.
sophomore, maybe junior year, for me. Right? Junior year.
I feel like I don't know, man. I don't know. I had a whole different life. I was working. I was digging holes.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like sophomore, junior year. It's like 2 years removed from like meeting Michael and our introduction there. We kind of fall out. Not necessarily like we like had a fight or anything, but I'm fucking going to school, working full time. You're fucking working. I think at this point you realize you're about to have a child, or already maybe have him. I'm confused. I don't know the exact timeline.
I don't know.
But
You
either
weren't
way,
there.
I kind of have this idea to start a magazine, and really that's like where the outlet was born. Like that's when the first time the name was ever used. The whole premise of it is kind of maintained, and the point is just to highlight artists, which was essentially the same thing as mRNA, but I realized just it wasn't the right medium for what I was trying to do. And then my second shot was a magazine, also not the right medium. That never happened. But out of that meeting, I had invited like 15 people. You know what I mean? I organized this meeting at ASU was gonna pitch all of these people who had any sort of creative shit going on in their life, or people that I thought were cool or could do something cool. And I like just like spray and prayed. I just hit everybody up, told them to come to this meeting, and we got like maybe like 8 people there, something like that. And Michael was one of them. And then from there, that group quickly dwindled down to essentially just me and Michael. And even at that point, we weren't.
Ray was there.
Yeah, Ray was there, but Ray was very much in the shadows a lot himself. You know what I mean? Like if we asked for him to do something, he would do it, but he wasn't like working on the outlet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was a little bit
Like
different.
trying to think of ideas for the outlet.
Yeah, and it's the same with like Cassie. Like we've worked with Cassie since then. She was also at that first meeting, and I wouldn't say that she's a part of the outlet, but she's done stuff for and with us for sure. But at the end of the day, out of that meeting, developed this kind of duo, and even for a while, it still wasn't anything super serious because we were still trying to do a magazine, and we started doing recorded interviews that nobody has ever fucking heard. We did multiples of them. We created. You wrote out.
People heard some. There was like 100.
No, I'm talking about the Captain Samurai one and the very first permanent one, which were the 2 of the first ones we ever did. And those were recorded on our phones. You wrote out an entire one, and permanent we wrote up like a whole thing on him, did the whole interview, and both of them just like kind of fell out in communication with us for a little bit, and those just never came out. So really, we've had 4 iterations of this, and it's progressively gotten better each time. So we basically quit after that, right? You kind of are doing your own thing with the baby and stuff. I kind of am doing my own thing with school. And then, should we chill here? Is this the spot where we want to switch topics? Because like a whole new chapter after that happens. We start the second wave of interviews, and first we meet like Chris Moon, Undescribed Tribe, Gabby, Venture. We like really get introduced into this like Phoenix scene at this point, and Slater. And I mean, all that happens next.
Yeah, we start going to shows.
Going to shows, following people, talking to people, introducing ourselves.
Fucking, you're like, hey, my name is this.
I think we just really realized that there was.
You guys want to do an interview?
Yeah, we just really realized there was other people like us out here, and we needed to kind of get to know them. And we had the second iteration of interviews, which was all the people that I mentioned. And then after that was like a stark change in what our focus was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do we want to leave it there? The first 2 iterations of the outlet? Because we're technically in the 4th one.
So I want to end here with that. We could keep going about the outlet a different day.
Yeah.
But what was the other topic?
We're just gonna fast forward till right now. You know what I mean? What's next? What's the future? People are listening to this or watching these last 2 interviews that have come out. First one was with Ray, Christian, and Jared. Jared. I always forget because he fucking introduced himself that way. And even in my phone, I have it spelled right and everything, and I don't know. Fucking, he ruined it for himself.
Yeah.
And then we had the one with Soleil, formerly known as Slater Black. I keep calling him Slater to you. And then we have future guests lined up.
Yeah, we got a couple guests lined up. Couple people we've been reaching out to about doing this. We want to make sure it's fun in the future. We want to make sure we get more than just one person. We don't want them all to be super interviewee. I feel like it'd be really. I mean, Tan is the one who really mentioned it. that it'd be really cool just to get to know these people and their personalities a little. Because right now we live in an era where people could just put work out and just share work for free, like use their resources to get it fucking out there. And that's all you know about them. So it'd be really cool to hear some of the fucking takes on what's going on,
Yeah.
right?
No, that's for sure. And I think we've always tried to be that bridge in a way of not collaborations, but introducing other people to artists from here that we like. I think the best way to do that is introduce them to other artists and then have those artists not necessarily work together, but build each other up, shout each other out, you know what I mean? Know of each other. I think all that's very important to developing some sort of like culture or community in Phoenix. I think not necessarily that's what we're going to do, but it would be very cool to mix all the different crowds that are out here, because we know that there's plenty of very, not segregated, that's not the right word, but there's like pods and pockets of different groups, and there's people out of there that are good, but they don't pay attention to these other pockets, and the people inside those pockets aren't really aware of the other ones. And if you were able to bridge all of that, I think it would just be very interesting to see what comes out.
Yeah, especially if everyone's willing to put in some work, it'd be really cool. I feel like, in a way, we did that. We definitely did that. We all got together. No one was getting paid. The only people who made money from the show were technically like the boys because they sold their own product.
In the beginning, yeah. Well, now we're like getting into like parts of the story we haven't talked about.
Oh, let's stop right there.
Yeah.
You're right. So we're talking about the future.
Yeah, the future.
So from here on out, we got some guests lined up.
Yeah.
Some fun guests.
We are keeping it in the same essence of like the previous podcast, which was the Outlet Season 2. There was 6 episodes released with various different artists from Arizona. We're keeping that same light of it being locals in the beginning, just like I said, to kind of build everything up. Everything from comedians to photographers to models to musicians, clothing designers, pretty much anyone that we think is cool, we're going to try and have them talk to each other. That's the whole plan. I think a lot of cool relationships will hopefully develop out of it.
Yeah, and I'm older now, so I don't really, you know what I mean? Like I just now I am focused on myself, so like having these podcasts will be fun because like there's no competition part to it anymore.
Yeah, you've already won.
There was like kind of a competition part. I don't know if I won, but
Bro,
I feel like I did all right.
you are homeowner, husband, and father of 2. I feel like a lot of people would say that's a win. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like I understand in like the on like the full scale, you're like not obviously in like the 1% or anything, but bro, that scale is plenty far on both sides.
I got a salary job.
Yeah, you have the highest paying job that you've ever had in your life. So congrats on that too. All because, which leads us into our next topic, determination, and like how you like flip that switch to actually take control of what you were doing and really like get yourself kind of out of a funk, focus on this thing to see a goal through, and then you were ultimately rewarded in the end. And I kind of want to there's been other circumstances not as awesome impact as that one, like your whole running and fucking working out thing. Like you've done it a few times. Yeah, I just kind of want to get into how you did that, because prior to that there were some issues, not necessarily issues per se, but like setbacks, we'll say.
Yeah. So determination, bro. You gotta plan out the fucking whole thing. It's hard work. It's hard work. It's a lot of time just like in order to make any progress, I had to literally like develop routines that I never had before, Like I had to start going to the gym. I had to get my mind right. I had to see a therapist. Like like it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to be determined. But on top of that, like having healthy conversations with my wife and like just getting on the same page, like what our goals were in life. We want to be able to give our kids everything they need. I've mentioned a couple of times, like one of my kids has an eye condition, and it's expensive to see a specialist. Even though right now it's only once a year, um, still still more than I need to. We buy him drops every month, so just think about those reoccurring costs. Because before I didn't have to think about that. I just kind of lived and existed. My wife carried the team on her back. Um, so we started doing math, writing down basic shit like this is our budget. This is how much money we, spend. Like these are our expenses. Like we need to make more than that. How do we get there? I started looking at like jobs that I wanted. I had to learn what skills that I needed, and then I had to like apply myself. Like I'd go to work, and then after work you decide to study. So you never really turn your brain off. You just
Yeah.
keep going. You keep pushing yourself. And I used to do that,
And then
like when
after
I
that,
was
you're a dad.
working. Yeah. Like
Like,
it doesn't stop. Like my
yeah.
my son, like he doesn't care how tired I am. Like if he wants my attention, he's gonna ask and ask
Bro,
and
I
ask
remember
and
when
ask.
Oliver was a little dog. This is like a complete side note. He would like grab your face and like pull you, be like, "Yo, listen, listen. I'm talking to you right now." Bro, that always used to crack me up. All right, but yeah, continue. So like, okay, you get hyper organized. That's basically like the first step, right? Hyper organized
Yeah, it wasn't
and
it wasn't
set
in
a
one day
goal.
though. It took a long time.
Or
Yeah.
yeah, well,
Set
yeah. I think but that's when you did that part, is that like when did you really notice there was no chance of you stopping or going back? You know what I mean? Because I think that's the really important part to get to, and I think too many people fall short of that.
I got a wife. I got a kid. I got 2 kids now. My wife reminds me of things. It wasn't like I was gonna forget.
Yeah.
um, but honestly, it's for like the boat. It's for me and my family. Like at the end of the day, like I want them to not hate themselves the way I've hated myself.
Okay.
So I gotta put in a little effort. So like I had a little bit of I had to rethink shit because of other people like perspective
Hmm.
of life. So I'm like, fuck, I can't just hate life and wallow around and be sad all the time because like my son's gonna wake up and he's gonna be like that if if I don't like stop. So um yeah, I got determined, hyper organized. Um, I stopped working on stuff. Um, like I do still work on stuff, but like now it's because I learned these new skills, like
Hmm.
because I learned how to do basic web development. Like I know HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I also, got a good job where my I was lucky. Luck is important. Putting yourself and being positive and being around people like accept opportunities. If someone gives you an opportunity, like fucking go for it. I applied to a job and I told this guy that I wanted to work at his job as a developer because I was learning C sharp and I didn't know C sharp. Like I didn't know yet.
Yeah.
And so he like this guy's been working there for three years and he's like a higher up. And like his word is big. Like if I knew C sharp, I would have for sure gotten hired.
Hmm.
And he like vouched for me and I never finished applying. And then like I was lucky because like, I slipped on the bag there. But I was still determined to learn C sharp. And then another friend's like, yo, my job's hiring. It's super easy. It's kind of like it was like a sales job. Um, but I never like looked at it as a sales job. And I just learned Facebook ads while I was there. And I learned how to do Facebook marketing. And Facebook also owns Instagram. So it's those things. And So I learned some skills, and part of the job interview, I got hired on the spot. I mean, that's not necessarily a good thing, but I got hired on the spot. But it's because like I told her about me learning C sharp, about me running like landscape construction, crews, me like running my own little business when I was like 19 or 20. Like, and those are all real, but like
Yeah.
none of them were successful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just
Like,
sold it. You're a go
like
getter.
yeah. And she hired me because she said I was smart,
I mean, you're a pretty smart
and I
guy.
guess I am.
Yeah. So what's
Yeah.
the timeline on that? How long did you stay the course, before you actually got this massive reward on the other end?
It's total 8 months.
From all the way back in the
Just like
beginning when
from
you like started like cuz you attribute it to
well,
even like
it's
working out and stuff, like that was not 8 months ago.
oh that was I mean my peak, bro, was 8 months ago for sure. Like around the time the pandemic made it impossible to go to the gym. Like was that like a year ago? So I started working out probably like 2 years ago. I haven't really worked out in the last year. I have like
Mm.
weights here. I do push ups sometimes,
Yeah,
but
cuz
it's very
I think the whole beginning part, not even the process of you actually learning to code, is actually the part where
that changed my life.
yeah, I think it happened way prior to that. I
W-
think you
Seeing a therapist 2 years
okay.
ago, for sure.
That's like the biggest thing you think? Like just getting your
Yeah, bro.
mental
My
health
wife
in
had bomb
check and in
insurance.
order.
Yeah, one time I wanted to leave during a therapy session. Like I got there, I was a little late. He brought me back, and I was just like, I didn't talk for 15, 20 minutes.
You
Like
just
he
didn't say
didn't
a
say a
word?
word.
You didn't say a word?
Neither of us said a word to each other, bro.
That's some Goodwill Hunting shit.
We
Have you
just
ever seen that movie?
no. I mean, I'm sure I have, but I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure that happens like the same thing. He goes to visit a therapist and he doesn't say a fucking word.
We just sat there,
For
and
an
then
hour they sat
eventually,
there and then he's like, "Thumbs up."
like more than halfway through, I finally did say something though. I did say like, I don't think I'm gonna come back. And
That's all
he's
you
like,
said after not saying anything. You're like, this ain't for me.
yeah,
Did you want him to
yeah. He's
start the
like,
conversation? Or were you
I
just like
mean,
not comfortable
usually
with
it's a
talking
little
either way?
playful. I think I had gone a couple of times before that, and it's not like the times were bad. It's just I was like in like doubting myself and shit, and I was in denial that this was like working.
Mm-hmm.
But
That makes
finding a
sense.
therapist is hard, bro. Especially a good one. Like I've gone to a couple different ones, and one of them just straight up said because I smoked weed that she's like, "I'm gonna send you to AA," and I was like,
Not NA?
"What?" No, no, no. It's like a drugs anonymous type thing. But I don't know
Yeah.
what it was actually called, but um I was like, "No, I'm not gonna like." She's like,
Weed's
"All
not the
right, well, if
problem.
you're not gonna do it, I'm not gonna see you, but my colleague sees people who smokes weed, so I'll refer you
Oh,
to him."
damn.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. Like, if you really believe that those are. Because I do think weed not necessarily always helps with mental issues. I can believe that.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does.
So I can
It's because you
understand
feel
her.
better, so like you don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Makes everything better. And just like. I think it could possibly interfere with like other medications potentially. I don't know how science works.
I wasn't on medication at the time, but
Yeah.
yeah, probably.
Well, I mean, like, if that's her thing. Like, she was like, well, I prescribe people this shit, you know? To which, like,
Coffee too, then.
yeah, that's true. Dude, have you seen this movie that just came out on Netflix, I Care a Lot?
Mm-mm.
It's fucking crazy. Premise is,
I'll check it. Take a look.
so, like, a quick synopsis. We'll talk about it at a later episode. But this lady is, like, a business owner who her business is guardianship. So she has wards of the state essentially that she's in charge of. So it's like older people who have been deemed unable to take care of themselves by the state. She steps in and like helps them. Like that's what the actual thing is supposed to be. But she like games the system and like gets doctors to fucking write off rich people into her care so that she can like abuse their money. You know what I mean? And that's the whole premise of the, and it kind of like just goes down from there. But it's very interesting, and like the thought of like that's what the doctor was doing reminded me of that movie.
Yeah, she seemed like the type that just was down to charge your insurance company. Like,
That's how it would be, man. Doctors
if
are,
you're not gonna take drugs, then I don't want you.
yeah. Like how am
Yeah,
I?
I'd called 3. So the reason why I got this therapist was because my therapist was like the type of fool who didn't even have like a computer. Like he wrote everything on paper,
Oh, okay.
and
Like his
he
notes.
always told me about, yeah, and like everything. Like you had to pay cash. Like he didn't have any electronics. It was at an office. Like the
Was he
office was
old?
nice, but he was a little older.
Okay.
Um, he talked about always biking. He said biking and running is really good for you, like because that like forces you like it's kind of like meditating, and meditation is good for you because it clears your mind.
I
And
think that's true.
so so I started running again because of him, actually. But then he got in an accident, a biking accident. So his office like had to refer me. I didn't know there was an office person, by the way, but his office had to refer me to somebody. They gave me 3 numbers. I called all 3. None of them answered.
Damn.
The one that called me back, the only one who called me back, it called me back right away, was that office. And so that's why I started seeing them, like, or like the therapist who said no to me. Like, so she probably like just accepts as many people as she can.
Yeah. I guess that
But
would make sense.
therapy is still cool, especially if you find a good one. Like, I know Janess found a good one. She's like referred her to a couple different friends. So
Yeah. I went when I was younger. I think I just like the two people that I went to, I only went once or twice, and I was just like this. I don't know, the way it was set up and the things they were saying. I was just like, no, this is not helpful. So I'm not coming back, and I didn't. But I'm sure
yeah,
everybody in the world could benefit from some level of therapy.
yeah, just talking about yourself, talking about your childhood is good. Everyone's gone through some sort of trauma, I'm sure. So I
Yeah,
mean, some way worse than the other, but
yeah,
I think it makes you feel better at the end of the day just to get it out.
yeah. No, I was talking or not talking. I was listening to. I sent you one of their podcasts, but this guy, Healthy Gamer, is like a Twitch channel where he's a therapist and he talks to a bunch of different people on like Twitch and YouTube and stuff. And that was like one of the things they said was
That's cool.
fuck. What was I saying? Or what were you talking about?
Healthy gamer.
No,
We
no,
were
no.
talking about therapy and just talking about it, just getting it out there is good for you. Like just telling somebody your traumas is
Yeah,
good for
okay,
you,
yeah, the
just getting
trauma
it out.
thing. That like trauma is trauma no matter how severe it is. Like PTSD is like this thing in comparing people to like war trauma is people think that it's fucked up to compare it to like emotional trauma from like a boyfriend or girlfriend, but at the end of the day it was still a traumatic event in your life and you have like certain triggers that bring you back to certain things. It's obviously not as severe as like PTSD is like this whole other level in severity, but even like small traumas versus like slightly bigger traumas, while they are different, they still enact like that same like mental thing, right? Like that same trigger is happening in your head and it's psychologically very fucked up for everybody. Any sort of trauma, whatever level.
Even if your parents were nice to you.
Yeah. And sometimes that in a way can be trauma, you know what I mean? Where like they're like super nice, provide everything, never do anything bad to you, but are just never there. You know what I mean? You grew up
Mm.
fucking like you had like 7 different nannies or some shit that like, and then once you hit high school, you just were home by yourself, doing whatever the fuck you wanted. Like that could be
Yeah,
traumatic for some people.
th- there was a moment while working here. I was super busy, especially around the third quarter of last year. that's as much as I'm gonna talk about that. But yeah, I was super busy. I was like getting up, working 6 a.m. Sometimes not clocking out till like 7 or 8 p.m.
Mm.
And like my son goes to sleep at 7:30. So like I don't see him all day. And when he walks in, I'm busy, and I had to kick him out. There he is. I had to
I
kick
don't
him
know if
out.
that
So
was
like
him.
I no, that's him.
It looks really tall. I thought it was your wife.
No, I don't think it's my wife. Glasses.
Oh, I didn't see the glasses.
But
Oh, bro, I got to talk about this. If you go look at the interview with Gabby, there's a shot
mhm.
of you, bro, on the couch with your hat and your glasses. You look exactly like Oliver. Literally copy
I
paste, add 20 years. It's fucking Oliver. I want you to look it up after. But
I
before I
will.
forget, that is crazy. When you said the glasses, that reminded me.
Yeah. Yo, we do gotta end this soon though, cause I
Yeah.
gotta go
I mean, that was pretty much it.
hang out over there.
The last thing I wanted to have you do is just shout out some music that you're listening to.
Okay, some music.
Yeah, whether it's like an album,
Um,
artist, a certain song.
yeah, let's do it. I'll I'll give you 3 or 4.
Okay.
First off, the NG Spring 2021 playlist is good,
Okay.
pretty solid. Slater's 3 piece is good. SZA's Good Days, bro,
Is this new or
that
is
sounds so
this
good.
older?
It's like relatively new. It's like within the last 6 months. Good
Okay.
Days by SZA, super good. Um, the wife put me onto this song called "Matters of the Heart" by Bedoine. It's like Bedoune. And all right, one more, last one. Boldy James and the Alchemist, "The Price of Tea in China." Bro, beautiful song, beautiful
Wait,
album.
that whole thing is the name of the album or what?
"The Price of Tea in China."
By Boldy
Great,
James.
by Boldy James and the Alchemist.
Okay. And this came out last year. Very new. Okay. What kind of music is this?
2019.
Oh, Vince
This is
Staples.
rap music.
Okay, okay. I was thrown off by the name of the album and artist. I wasn't sure. And then I saw Vince.
Yeah. I think he's signed to Griselda Records now. Griselda is like the biggest rap group right now.
Dang. I've never even heard of them before.
Benny the Butcher,
Do you,
Conway.
do you like female bad bitch rappers?
Um,
You should listen to this
yeah, I do.
one album. All right. It's called "This Is
Okay.
Why They Mad Now" by Kali. It's just Kali. The whole thing is just a bunch of bangers. Her talking about getting that pipe and shit, and her fucking twerking. It's good. All the beats are solid. It's not too long. I think it's like
What's it
30
called?
minutes. This Why They Mad Now.
This why. Okay, got it.
Yeah, fire.
It just came out.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate you stopping by the outlet. Hopefully we can have you back on a future episode,
Yeah, I might be back.
and we'll get into it. Maybe, hopefully, my
We'll
goal.
talk about some of the projects we've been working on this last year and a half and where we're going next. Cause I'm gonna go now, but like the next episode, we should definitely bring that up because I've been working on some people's websites. I've been doing some cool stuff. In my opinion, it's cool. Um,
Yeah,
you should care about every aspect of everything you do.
quality
No, you
control.
shouldn't. That's too much. That's too much.
You should care, but you shouldn't let it affect the overall. But you should care about everything. I firmly believe in that. You should at least think, can I improve that? Yes or no. If you can, do it. If
Yeah,
you
but then
can't, don't sweat it.
Yeah, look at us as an example. We're doing this again. It's live. I don't have a 1080p camera. You do.
That's true.
And we're both doing it in a room in our house. Like
And
you got your bed in the back. You got the
yeah,
curtain looking. I got a fucking desk back there that needs to be put away. I got a clothes rack right there.
yeah, and no shots fired. We had our guest flake on us 3 hours ago.
What?
I said no shots fired, but we had our guests cancel 3 hours ago. Like, it wasn't
Yeah.
gonna be just us, by the
Yeah.
way. Not yet.
Yeah.
Obviously,
But it
this
is
is a
what it
plan.
is.
Yeah. Determination.
Next Sunday, we'll see you guys. If there's anybody here,
But
I doubt it.
Ray Bambino in the chat. I
I
see him. What's up, Ray?
Ray Bambino, I see you. We appreciate you.
We was talking about. I want you to be there the next time we talk about freshman year. I want that to be like a full topic in itself because there's a lot of craziness that happened. Ray was there for a lot of it. Maybe we can get like Squid or someone to actually join us.
Dang, that'd be interesting. Squid want to be a cop.
I don't know if that's still the goal, but we could learn. We could learn.
Yeah, it's been a while.
We could hit him up. We could hit him up. All right, dude.
All right.
I'll catch you later.
Don't forget to shop greto.com. Okay. Bye.
Yeah.